We are back again. Is everybody here? Who is here?
I am.
Uh, okay.
Denise.
Hello. Hello, I.
It's Denise.
It's Denise. Hi, Denise. How are you
No,
finding this so far while we wait for people to
I'm
return?
really fascinated. Some of the people I've heard of, because obviously, well, not obviously, but I'm trained in NLP and hypnotherapy. So some of those I've heard, but some of the others I haven't.
Ah,
Um, I don't know why I was expecting to hear Virginia Satir because of Bandler as one of the things, but it's brilliant because I would never have made all those connections with astrology. So for me,
right.
it's you've broadened the horizon of astrology and linked it with other things, which
Hmm.
it makes it fuller, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. And if I was giving a talk on NLP, then I would have mentioned Virginia
Yeah,
Satir and Fritz Perls as well,
of
and
course. Yeah,
and Robert Dilts. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
as early pioneers of things. Yeah. Um,
No,
yeah.
I think it's rounded. I like it because you have filled it out in and connected to other things, which nothing is really isolated, is it? So I quite like
Mm.
that you've done that. So yeah, I've been, even though I'm really quite tired, I've really
Mm.
perked up and sort of
Right.
listened quite well.
You'll find when we by the time we were exploring the astrological houses, you'll find that most psychological models are encompassed within the chart. For
And
one
I
thing.
was surprised actually how much information you can get from a chart when you've said about,
Mm.
in-laws and depression and this, that, and the other. And it's like, wow, all that comes from a natal chart.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. Well, do you remember the initial emails that I sent out? The original emails. One of them had a document called Astrobiography, and that lists out all the things that I can tell in an astrological chart.
It's
And
amazing.
yeah, and it's. I hope. Did you read it?
I haven't, because I'm doing other things and I've been supporting my daughter a lot because she's
No.
had a baby by C-section and she's got a toddler. So I've been,
Right.
and she lives an hour away. So I've been doing an awful lot of that for
I can imagine you have. Yes.
the
Well,
last little while.
uh,
So
yeah.
hence me
I
being
might.
tired. But
I might attach it to when I send the recording of this out. I'll attach it with it. All right.
that'd be great
Just so you can
because
have a look.
although I am still helping her, I'm
Yeah.
not doing as much as I was. So
Because
that's brilliant. And it's
great.
great to have because,
Yeah.
again, even if I don't read it before the next session,
Mm.
it's there for when I do have time.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I've flagged all your emails so that I can go back to them.
I'd be intrigued to know what you think of the breadth and scope of what's possible.
Well, so far, what you've said tonight
No,
it
I
seems
mean,
as if there's far more than I could
I
ever
mean,
believe.
once you've looked at the astrobiography document, I'd like to know what you think of what's possible.
Oh, right. Well,
Once you've
I'm
looked at
sure
that.
that that's actually,
Yeah.
if you're saying it's so much more than what you've been saying tonight, well, I'll be blown away because
Yeah.
I think
Well,
I think I must have had a very narrow view of what I thought astrology was from
mm.
how we've been exposed to it in society.
Well, do you remember I mentioned on day 2? There's a reason for that, and that's because it's illegal to broadcast it on terrestrial television.
I know, which is
Yeah.
so
And so,
sad. Isn't it?
but because of that, everyone's got basically, the pop idol perspective, the X Factor end of
Mm.
astrology, and they don't know that the Beethoven end exists.
But the depth is just amazing.
I know. You wait till you've read that thing. Really,
I'm
seriously,
blown away
really,
tonight. Like,
yeah,
gosh, that's
yeah.
really
But
amazing.
when you have a look at it, you'll go, "Whoa!" Right now, a question for all of you to answer verbally, if you will. Yeah, so ready to unmute yourselves just for a second or two. Have you ever been to a rock concert or a theatre?
Yes.
Okay. Have you noticed that they play lights around the room and illuminate certain people on the stage?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Brilliant. What colour are the lights?
White? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yellow and white. So I wouldn't. Yeah.
White?
Yeah, yeah. The lights themselves, the bulbs are white. Well, the filament inside the bulb is white. But we don't experience white in a theatre. We experience a green beam of light, a red beam of light, a blue beam of light, and so on. Right? And that's because the white light from the filament is filtered either through colored glass, or it used to be jelly. They used to put jelly.
Oh, wow.
In kind of, these kind of square things, put the jelly in front of the lamp, and it made it come out red or green, right? But now, of course, they use kind of plastic moldings and things like this. So, since the filament itself, it reveals a white light, and what happens then is the material, whatever the material is, then isolates a portion of the light spectrum. So we see just that single portion of the light spectrum coming out, whether it's purple or green, whatever. Okay, now, substitute the filter for a sign of the zodiac and the light bulb for a planet. Okay, so now think you've got a planet shining through a filter. Okay, so imagine like the sun shining through a green filter. That's easy. Sunlight would do that. Now imagine you've got Jupiter light shining through a red filter or a blue filter or a green filter. Okay, so far?
Yes.
Right. Now imagine that there are 12 filters and they're the signs of the zodiac. Just to start to get a feel as a metaphor for how astrology functions, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you for a quick flight around the zodiac using Mars, right? And Mars means many things. You might know it as the god of war, but we're not using warfare with this one. We're using expression, right? One of Mars's words is expression. So it's just expression, right? So I'm going to say, imagine that I'm going to deliberately stamp on the toes of somebody with Mars in a certain place in their chart, and then I'll describe their reaction. I'll describe their response.
Okay.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So we'll start with Mars in Aries. Okay. So if someone's got Mars in Aries and you walk up to them and you deliberately go Kush, and stamp on their toes, you will get a hand go instantly. If you push them on the shoulder, another hand will snap you on the face instantly. Aries is a sign of immediate action. So when Mars in Aries is stimulated to act, it acts immediately, pre-conscious, without any thought. That could be thoughtless, it could be careless, it can seem reckless, but it comes out instantly. Right? Okay, so far?
Yes.
That's an easy one, right. Now, Mars filtered through Taurus. Taurus is a sign of slow deliberation, in the way that a cow might chew the cud for a while. You go up to someone with Mars in Taurus and you stamp on their toe. It can be like that. But once they start to move and they start to kind of get their revenge, then it's relentless. They can't stop moving. So Mars in Taurus can be a little bit like, they say that an oil tanker takes a long time to get it to change direction, but once it's changed direction, you can't change it again. So if they're in movement mode, they'll move and trundle. If they're in staying still mode, they'll stay still for ages. It's just the processing speed is slower than the Aries, that's all. Okay? And it comes out in a physical way. Mars in Gemini. Now, Gemini is a sign of communication. So if you stamp on the toes of Mars in Gemini, they'll tweet it and they'll be talking to a friend. Yeah, you wouldn't believe this. He's stopped me on the toes. Stopped me on the toes. Can't believe it. Chat, Facebook, post, Twitter, etc. Right? Or in the old days, fax machine. Yeah. Some people still might have a fax machine. You never know. Yes, Mars in Cancer. That's not so easy. Mars in Cancer. Now, Cancer is associated with a crab. And where do you find a crab?
See.
On the beach. Indeed, yeah. So, if you stamp on the toes with someone who's got Mars in Cancer, their claw can snap at your ankle. In other words, your Achilles heel, your weak spot. If you annoy them or frighten them, a claw can come out and get you right in the heart. Right in the heart. The most vulnerable spot, the most vulnerable thing about you. You know, they know you a little bit well and they can detect your vulnerable spots, where your soft underbelly is, whether it's something you said about your mum, whether it's what you did to the budgie when you were 3 that you still feel guilty about. Right? Yes. If you stamp on the toes of Mars and Leo, they will make a display. They will stomp up and down stairs. They will open and close cupboard doors loudly. Chum, chum. They'll put things down. Bang, loudly. Stompy, 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 stomp. They will make a song and a dance and a display until you acknowledge them. And when you acknowledge their magnificence, and when you doff your cap to the king or queen, and you say, I am most sorry, your liege, for I have smiteth you, please forgive me. In that moment, they become magnanimous, and they're full of charm and grace, and pat you on the head. There you go, never mind, you're just one of those, you can't help it. But you do have to make them see that you are very sorry in order to win favor back. Mars in Virgo. Now, if you step on the toes of Mars in Virgo, what will happen is that they will analyze you and they will strip you down as if they're taking a car engine apart, and they will tell you everything that's wrong about you. And the thing is, they're absolutely right. Yeah. It kind of hurts, but it also kind of helps as well, because when you know that this is wrong and that's wrong and that's wrong and this wrong and this wrong and this wrong, you can fix it, can't you? You can't fix what you don't know about. So it's sort of helpful in a way, but it's a funny form of attack. Yes, accurate critique. Yes. Mars in Libra. Mars in Libra. Now, you see, Libra is opposite Aries in the wheel. And Libra is a sign of cooperation and harmony. So Mars in Libra tries to get revenge by seeing your point of view. And then it can't get annoyed because it understands your viewpoint. You know, so yeah, you stood on my foot, but you know, I stood on yours last week. So like, that's okay, because that's like a karmic balancing, isn't it? And yeah, well, you know, you didn't mean it. I can tell you didn't mean it. And I know you're clumsy because you try and have a go and you kind of mess up sometimes, and it's all right because we all mess up sometimes. I'm like you, I do that. And then all of a sudden it sort of diffuses a bit like that. Unless if you step on their toe week 1, they will hold it in and kind of see your viewpoint. And if you did it again, they would hold it in and see your viewpoint. And if you did it again, they would hold it in and see your viewpoint. And it's getting tense now. And if you do it again, they will hold it in and see your viewpoint until it gets to a tipping point. And when it gets to a tipping point, they don't redress the scale by doing that. That's balanced, isn't it? No, it goes boom, like that. And you have a whirlwind, you have a tornado ripping through the house. And in which, for some reason, it's very important. They tell you everything that's wrong with you right back through to the dawn of history. I don't know why that's important, but it seems to be. Right? And then on the other side of that, it all calms again. Yes. Mars in Scorpio. Yes. Mars in Scorpio is known in the astrological world as nice person. Hello, nice person. Yes. Great friends, really, really bad enemies, but great friends. Right? If you tread on the toes of Mars in Scorpio, I won't do nothing. Nothing happens. They'll wait. They'll wait until you've forgotten about it. Until you have no memory whatsoever at all. And you go, what was that for? And they go, you know, and you don't. I've known people wait 7 or 8 years to get a point back. You know, revenge is best served cold, right? Is a very good. I went to do a reading for someone in Bath, And in the days when I used to do like mobile astrology and sitting in this bedsit with this person, and she had like a couple of planets in Scorpio, including Mars in Scorpio. And I said, for you, revenge is best served cold. And it was just this kind the smile had this kind of vibe to it, you know, and you could just felt the hackles going. Yeah, it was a bit like that. Mars in Sag. Sag is a happy-go-lucky sign of philosophy, right? It's all right. It's okay. I've got another one. It's fine. If you tread on my toe, because tomorrow's where we're going. We're not going back into the past, all that kind of raking over hot coals. That's all kind of pointless. We're going on a grand adventure into the light. And on this grand adventure, we're all going to die. So it doesn't matter, does it? So in the grand scheme of things, we're all going to be enlightened, and we won't need this kind of earthly shackle, and I won't have any toes. Not where I'm going. No toes are available. So they just get philosophical about things and take the mickey out of you because you're a silly idiot, and that's kind of it. Sarcasm's about the magnitude of it. Very different to treading on the toes of someone with Mars in Capricorn. Now, if you tread on toes of someone with Mars in Capricorn, you will be told off. But in the correct context, it won't be done in public. And it will feel like you're being hauled in front of the fireplace with a Victorian headmaster. They will tell you off and you will feel it, and it won't be nice. And you'll have a very strong feeling of regret or guilt, but that's your fault. If you tread on the toes of someone with Mars in Aquarius, well, you don't really quite know, because Aquarius is a sign of unpredictability. And the problem with unpredictability is you don't know when it's going to happen. See, you could tread on their toes on Monday, they're fine. You tread on their toes on Tuesday, they're fine. Tread on their toes on Wednesday, and it's like the hordes of Zulu warriors coming over the kitchen table, right? And you tread on the toes on Thursday, and they're fine again. And you just can't tell. Best thing to do is not tread on the toes at all. But they can have a surprising, sometimes tolerant reaction, and surprising, sometimes almost kind of, a scientific kind of, I wonder what will happen if I put pins in your toes while you sleep. And that's a quote, right? Someone actually said that to me. Yeah. While you're sleeping, can I put pins in your toes to see what will happen? And I said, no, you can't. Why did you just use your imagination and pretend that you can figure it out, right? Yeah. So that made going to sleep very difficult for a long time. But yes. Mars in Pisces. I've got Mars in Pisces. If you tread on the toes of Mars in Pisces, sometimes they send the troops off in completely the wrong direction. So instead of dealing with the person who trod on their toes, they go to someone else and they pass it on for a process called whinging. Yeah, well, anyway, I was down there the other day and he tread on my toes. And I think, he tread on my toes. And now the other person gets all wound up and then they go and sort it out for you. And it turns out that you set all these ripples in motion just because you were kind of getting some stuff off your chest. Yes. Or sometimes they just kind of have a daydream about what it would be like if the problem was resolved. And somehow on the physical plane, it ends up being resolved pretty much like the dream they had. That can happen as well. It's all rather ethereal, really. These people being annoyed is a bit like getting a fireball meteor and plunging it into an ocean. It just goes and goes out. So much for ambition. Yes, right. So, was that interesting? Yeah, you get this bit of a flavor of things.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now we're going to look
Can I just ask? Sorry,
Sorry.
is it appropriate? Can I just ask
Yes.
about the Cancer response? I don't quite get it. Is it about kind of the revenge being done the most hurtful way? Is that the
Not the most
kind of,
hurtful. No.
or
Yeah.
I didn't quite. Okay.
Yeah.
Probably because I have it in my chart, so I'm quite curious.
Yeah. I don't know if you've got Mars in Cancer or not. You see, your sun sign
I
isn't a
do.
Mars sign. Oh, right. Okay. So, it's not the
I
most
do.
hurtful. As I would say, the most hurtful, I guess, would be something scorpionic, really. But I just said a tender spot. So Mars in Cancer can have an instinct for a person's tender spot, and quite unconsciously just kind of poke it unconsciously, because Cancer is a sign. All the water signs are unconscious, you see. So a person with Mars in Cancer can do that without even realizing they're doing it. But that's only if someone treads on your toes deliberately, and how dare they? Yes. Never tread on a person's toes deliberately just to find out what's going to happen. Right? Use your imagination instead, is what I would always recommend. Now, just imagine that we're going to have the play of your life, right? You've won the competition, and the play of your life is going to be played out on the West End. And luckily, we have tickets. We can go and watch a rehearsal. So let's have our stage. And of course, with a stage, you also have sets. Because just imagine, right? If your life was going to be played out on a play, in the West End, and you go in the back door to watch a rehearsal, and there's a big round circular stage, right? And there's an actor or an actress that's going to play you, and behind the actor or actress that's going to play your life, there's your whole life in a higgledy-piggledy heap. So there's an aeroplane wing sticking through a window, and an elephant in a bath, and a motorbike and a pile of sand, right? We can't make sense of this. This is all a jumbly heap. So luckily, because we're in a theatre, some stagehands come on and start doing carpentry, wearing appropriate hats, of course, and they divide the stage into sets. And so there'd be a set for being at home, a set for going to work, a set for being with friends, and so forth. Okay? Yeah. And around the base of the stage, there would be the footlights. So now think of the signs of the zodiac as the footlights around the base of the stage. Yeah? These lights shine into the stage. Okay? They shine into the stage. So imagine that Leo is shining into this place here. Virgo is shining into this place here. Although it looks like it's empty, it's not. It's got Virgo shining into it and a bit of Libra shining into it as well. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah? So it's a metaphor, but just imagine all the signs of the zodiac are lights, and those lights shine into an area. Okay? Yes. And of course, we have our spotlights. There are some spotlights. In astrology, as we know from day one, we don't draw them inside the chart, outside the chart. We draw them in because it's just nice and tidy and easy that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of walk you through a life in a day, right? Or a day in a life. Let's say, would this represent for you like a typical average day of the average citizen between John O'Groats and Land's End? Wakes up in the morning, goes to the bathroom, brushes teeth, has breakfast, then travels to work, does work through the day, and then after work perhaps socializes with friends. Is that okay as an average?
That's all right.
Daily experience of an average citizen, if there was such a place as an average land? Okay, right. So I'm going to talk you through that process using this chart to show you how the chart works. Okay? Right. So the first step then is to wake up in the morning. And I'm going to use a number, not to denote the number of the houses, but the number of the sequence of activity. Okay? So the first step is the person wakes up. And the ascendant, this part of the chart here, represents the beginning of life. And therefore, it resonates with all new beginnings, like a tuning fork. Right? So the beginning of a day is resonant with the beginning of our life. There's an interesting thing for you to think about. Okay. So this person's got Gemini there with a bit of Cancer. And Gemini, representing the central nervous system, means they wake up with the central nervous system being stimulated. So they have like an alarm, but the alarm doesn't play a ding dong, it plays radio. So they wake up and they've either got kind of, a voice talking, saying the news at 1, blah, 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 or they've got music playing or whatever kind of radio they like. So sound reaches their ear first and says, wake up, it's time to wake up. It might even be a song doing it by the Boo Radleys, who knows. And they've got Cancer here, and Cancer represents sentimentality. So they wake up and they're in their familiar surroundings with their favorite objects and the things that are being given to them by people they've loved through the years. And then the next thing is they're going to go to the bathroom. And so now they leap from this part of the chart over to this set over here. And this is the house of the mind-body relationship and how we deal with routine in our day-to-day world. And they've got Scorpio here, with Sagittarius as well. And the planet Uranus is here, the planet that rules Aquarius, the planet of inventions and crazy things and electronic technologies. But also Scorpio, the sign of mystery and theft and crime, is on the beginning of their 6th house. So they go in the bathroom and someone's moved the toothpaste again. Who keeps putting the toothpaste in a place where they can't find it? Has someone stolen their toothpaste? Right? Dum, 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 dum. Crisis, drama, crisis, drama, crisis, drama at the beginning of the day. Then they find their toothpaste, and their toothbrush is electric, of course. It's because they've got Uranus in the 6th house. So they switch on the dehumidifier, and then they brush their teeth with an electric toothbrush, and it's all solar powered coming down from up the roof because they're eco-friendly. And they got Sag in here as well. So as they brush their teeth, they start to feel optimistic for the day. This is when they feel like they're starting to kind of wake up. And having brushed their teeth, they're then going to have breakfast in the home environment, in the kitchen. And they've got Virgo in the home. And so this suggests that they have a very nutritional breakfast. So they've got their muesli and their juice and their smoothie with all their kind of spirulina and stuff in it like that, so they're having their green smoothie and they're eating their nuts and da-da-da-da-da. And there's some criticism going on because there's Virgo in the, so someone else is saying, oh, you put too much blueberries in your smoothie, it will congeal like that. And so someone's pointing out that someone didn't do something quite right and the bin needs emptying and these sorts of things. And eventually they manage to get out of that environment. And they start to go to work. And the 3rd house is the house of mobility and how we drive. And they've got Leo here with the moon here as well. So they've got a kind of they've got a look at me car, right? Their car says, look at me when they drive it, right? So they've either got something like a bright yellow little Mini with a personalized number plate, right? As if somebody who's just got a little Mini wants a personalized number plate, or there's something about it like big fancy horns or something like this, or stickers on it. Whatever it is, it looks different and it attracts attention, but they got the moon here. So as soon as they get in their car, they feel vulnerable because they don't want it to get scratched. So they're going along in their bright look at me car, which seems to attract things like birds and dust and stuff. Things that can scratch, bump and break, like people on bicycles and stuff like this, or kids on these electric scooters. And they just constantly going, keep away from my car, keep away from my car, keep away from my car, you keep away from my car, going down their familiar sentimental pathways. Then they find themselves at work. And now we jump up to here. This is the top of the chart. And they've got Pisces here. So they do, what do they do for a living? They could be a photographer, they could be a healer, they could be a hypnotist, they could be a dancer, they could participate in the inspired arts, they could be a musician, yes, an actor as well, I guess. Or they could deal with chemistry in some way, so they could work in a pharmacy, or they could pull pints for a living, or they could literally just be all at sea. Or they could be a singing, dancing barmaid on a boat at sea, taking pictures of the people and just kind of bundle it all together. But they've got the sun in the 10th house. So they are the central point around which everything else revolves. They might not be the manager, but they behave like one. Right? So yes, so they're the manager of a bar. They're a manager of a bar on a boat at sea. That's what they do. They're on a Brittany ferry thing going to Calais and back. Yes. And having done all that through the day, they then go into the 11th house for a kind of nice bit of chat with friends. And they've got Aries here and Taurus and Venus here as well. So with the Aries there, their friends are highly motivating and they motivate their friends. You done that yet? Get on with it. You done that yet? Get on with it. But they fall in love with their friends. They've got friends that they can, oh, you're very lovely. And their friends love them and they love their friends. And what starts off as a friendship can sometimes become a romance. And what starts off as a romance can sometimes become it all gets a bit blurred really with that. But it's nice and everyone gets on well. Yeah. Can you see how that functions?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So regardless of what the sun sign of things is, as a person, as we do different things through the day, it's almost like we stimulate and fire off different parts of our chart as we do different activities. Yeah?
Yes.
And that's exactly what you're doing with your brain as well. As you do different things, then you're using different parts of your brainstem, etc., different, regions of your brain. So an astrological chart functions in a similar way, which is not a surprise because it's a construct that's come out of a human brain. So it was bound to reflect the very organ that does the thinking, that thought of the idea. Yeah. Any thoughts, any comments while you just digest that?
I would just love to see the rest of the day with all the other houses.
Oh, you mean go through the whole lot? Well,
Yes.
yes.
Always
I would strongly recommend have a personal reading with me and have a life reading and get everything there is to know. Takes about now it takes in excess of 45 2-hour consultations to do on Zoom. To do that.
I meant just in this example too.
Oh, in the example. Well, yes, to look at your own chart and things. But then, that depends on we all have individual routines, don't we? So some people don't wake up in the morning. Other people wake up in the afternoon. Other people do night shifts. Some people don't work. Other people will work all the time. They never go out with their friends. There's so many different permutations and variations that the only really way you can do that is to look at a person's chart specifically, Yeah, but that's just to give you a bit of a taste, a glimmer.
It's fascinating.
Of how the planets and the signs and the houses work together.
I think you've got a very good way of teaching it, David.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's very interesting and easy to follow.
That's very kind of you to say that. Now, I have another question to ask you. How many of you are aware that what we think of as modern medicine or allopathic medicine has its roots in ancient Greece?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Hippocratic Oath.
The Hippocratic Oath, indeed.
Yeah.
Right. Now, do you remember that when we were talking about the timeline of Western thought and class number 3, that one of the things that can sometimes, I guess, be a bit kind of irksome for people, scholars who are studying the classics, is that whenever you look at anything to do with ancient Greece, their cosmology is bound up with it. Right? And you have to extract the astrology out of everything all the time before you can actually read what Plato or Aristotle or Socrates was kind of talking about. And likewise, Hippocrates said, do not operate or let steel not touch the part of the body that is ruled by the moon of the sign that it's moving through at that time.
Wow.
So in other words, if someone has to have a knee operation, do not do the knee operation when the moon's in Capricorn, because Capricorn rules the knees.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you do a knee operation when the moon's in Capricorn, the patient will die. That's what Hippocrates said. Hippocrates said, and of course doctors sign a Hippocratic Oath. But that doesn't mean that they're subscribing to his beliefs. Although it would be nice if they did. So here's a bit of an ancient Greek way of looking at parts of the body. Okay. I'm going to put that in a clearer way for you. We'll use Leonardo's man. Yeah. All right. And it's easy to kind of do. You just start at the top and go down, right? So Aries rules the head, Taurus, the throat, Gemini, the lungs, arms, and hands, Cancer, the breasts and the stomach, Leo, the heart and spine, Virgo, the intestines, Libra, the kidneys, Scorpio, the genitalia area, Sagittarius, the thighs, Capricorn, the knees, Aquarius, the ankles, and Pisces, the feet. And you can use this as a rough aid to interpretation. If there's someone who's, I don't know, if you know that they've got moon in, say, Virgo, or someone who's got sun in Cancer, something like that, and you want to get a bit of a handle on them, rather than kind of having to think about the books you've read or what you heard about Cancer sometime, all you got to do is just remember the part of the body, and that will actually give you an aid to interpretation. For example, Aries rules the head. So anyone with the sun in Aries, moon in Aries, or Aries rising can be headstrong. And they like to nut their way through problems, right? If you say, here's an open door, they can, if you say you can't come in here, they go, I can. Right. Right.
Reverse psychology.
Well, not reverse psychology, just closed doors and open doors, really. But they like challenge. They want to work at something. They want to chase. They're a hunter, and they can be headstrong. Taurus rules the throat. So people with sun in Taurus, moon in Taurus, it's Taurus rising, they can love the finer things of life, the fruits of the earth and the honey of the earth. And they can sometimes find fats and sugars to be very, very alluring. And their body can bring fats and sugars in and forget to digest it and release it. That can happen too. Right? Gemini rules the lungs, arms, and hands. So where you find Gemini, you'll find someone who's chatty, someone who's fidgety, someone who twitches about. Anyway, went over there. The Gemini thing going on. Sometimes respiratory issues can be the issue as well. Lungs, arms, and hands. Cancer rules the breasts and the stomach. You can kind of arrange to meet Cancer if you happen to be invited around their house. You are full of belly when you leave because they like to care and they like to nurture. If someone's vulnerable, they want to care for them and look after them. Whether that's a person or a creature, doesn't matter. Just, a waif or stray, because they're very good at detecting vulnerability in people. And then they like to nurture in whatever way or whatever constitutes food for that person. Leo rules the heart and spine. You can check this out. People with sun in Leo, Leo rising, or moon in Leo quite often have back problems. And they can have problems with their spine or their back in some kind of way. You can find people with Leo tendencies who are full of courageous heart, and others who can be a bit spineless, in a way. Virgo rules the intestines. This is the part of the body where the wheat is sorted from the chaff, where the toxins are sorted from the nutrients. And that's exactly what people with sun in Virgo, moon in Virgo, or Virgo rising like to do a lot. Constantly sorting what's right, what's wrong, what's right, what's wrong, what's right, what's wrong, discerning, filtering out that which is toxic and looking for that which is nutrient. So when they're making a sandwich, their sandwich, if you get someone with sun or moon or Virgo ascendant to make you a sandwich on a Tuesday, it has to be better than Monday's sandwich, but not as good as Wednesday's sandwich, because the trajectory must be up and better and up and better and up and better and up and better and up and better. And they have a little internal dialogue in their head, constantly doing a running commentary, saying, "Oh, that cup of tea is not as nice as the last cup of tea. I have to do that. I'll make the next one better than this one. I wonder what I did wrong. I wonder what I did wrong. And that's what they do. And so the intestines fits perfectly, doesn't it? Libra, the kidneys. That balancing symbol. 2 kidneys in nice and balanced. So wherever you find, Libra, they like things to be balanced and harmonious. Now, wanting things to be balanced and harmonious isn't necessarily an easy thing. Could you imagine what it would be like if you were a tuning fork and you're on the stage as an orchestra is tuning up? You wouldn't know what to resonate with. It would be a cacophonic din. And that's very difficult, because really what you want is the world is in harmony with you. But quite often, in order to get harmony, you have to harmonize with someone else. And that's effort, and that's work, and that can throw you out of balance and throw you out of equilibrium. It's not a surprise, from what we looked at so far, to find that Scorpio rules the genitals. This is the area, or represents, if you like, as an interpretation, the desire to penetrate anything, the secrets, the underworld, your heart, your soul, whatever's behind or beneath the beneath, that is behind or beneath. They go looking for it. Brilliant at research, great at keeping secrets. Yes, sometimes great at keeping secrets in themselves, in that they got a lot of stuff that's repressed and they can't access it. That can go and happen too. Sagittarius rules the thighs. Brilliant for being fidgety enough to go wandering on grand adventures. So Gemini rules the lungs, arms, and hand. In other words, what's at hand. So Gemini is concerned with the immediate environment, the environment you can touch, right? But Sagittarius, opposite Gemini in the wheel, is attuned to what's far away, beyond the horizons of that which you know. So they can be restless and they want to travel far. Capricorn rules the knees. And wherever we find Capricorn in a birth chart, we're inclined to be brought down to our knees in that area of life. And we have to bow to a higher authority. That might be the council. That might be a man in a car park with a funny badge on his hat. That might be time. But whatever it is, we have to deal with it. Aquarius rules the ankles. And we can be magnificent, we can be wonderful, we can be enlightened, but we've got an Achilles heel because we're human. And there'd be a cranky glitch somewhere in our enlightened humanness. And of course, we don't have greed. And of course, we don't have avarice. And of course, we've risen above the fears that kind of seem to kind of ripple through the lesser ones. The savage, we don't have any of that kind of avarice stuff going on for us until something happens, and then we're full of jealousy and kind of rage, and then we have to kind of go, oh God, I'm bloody human, and then we get out of that and we go back to being Knights and Aquarian again. Yes. And Pisces, ruling the feet, are literally all soul. Yeah. So you can use parts of the body as an aid to interpretation. Helpful?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. Right. We are done for today. Next week, we shall begin to explore the signs of the zodiac. All right. And we're going to explore the signs of the zodiac over 3 weeks.
Okay.
The first week will be Logos. So we're going to look at the signs of the zodiac in a technical way. The second and third week, we'll look at the signs of the zodiac in a mythical way. So we'll feed the left brain first of all, and then we'll play with the right brain for a little bit as well. And by the time we've done both of those hemispheres, you will have a much clearer idea of the signs of the zodiac than you have at the moment.
Right.
I would strongly recommend that next week, if you can't make next week, that's kind of all right, because it's left brain stuff and you'll pick it up and that's easy. The 2 weeks after that, when we look at the signs of the zodiac through mythos, what we're going to be doing is it's going to be very, very interactive, right? And you'll find that if you participate in the interaction, your brain will learn the signs of the zodiac much faster than they normally would.
Okay.
Okay. So I'd strongly recommend that I'd recommend you're here for every class. But where are we? This is 5. So classes 7 and 8, definitely attempt to attend if you can, and interact as well. You'll get much more out of it, and the speed that you learn about the signs of the zodiac will go exponentially upwards. All right, cool. I've been doing this 32 odd years, so I've had a little practice, and I found a few things that work. So how have you found today's class?
Yeah, really good.
I've really enjoyed today's class. Thank you.
Yeah, I have to.
Cool, excellent, good.
My favorite so far.
Right. Okay. Next week, we'll begin to make sense of these signs of the zodiac. There might be some you're already kind of familiar with. You might be familiar with your own sun sign. There might be some you think, oh, I actually don't know anything about that one. But, you'll get more and more familiar with them as we go forwards. Okay. Take very good care, my friends. There will be signs of the zodiac handouts, but not until we finish them all.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Thank
Take
you.
good care. See you at the same time next week. See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thank you for watching this fascinating window into the nature of being human through this fine and ancient art of astrology. It is truly a pleasure to share these astro adventures with you, and please ensure you like and subscribe and continue exploring. Auto Q05, take 4. Thank you for watching this fascinating window into the nature of being human through this fine and ancient art of astrology. It's truly a pleasure to share these astro adventures with you, and please ensure you like and subscribe and continue exploring the deepening wisdom and illumination that resides within the art of Rowan astrology. Until next time, I wish you peace and good health, and please take very good care of you. Bye-bye.